And welcome back. Hello, YouTube. Feels awfully warm in my car, but I just checked the weather on my new Obama phone, and it's only 65 degrees out. So I think I just got all that heat from being parked out in the sun. Oh yeah, it's definitely warmer in the car. I get a little bit of airflow in here. It's straight up warm in the car. That's an interesting place to bicycle. Probably stolen by some homeless person, and that's where they need to ride it anymore. Just a theory. I mean, if anybody else has got a better explanation why there's a random 20-inch bicycle laying there in the greenbelt, put it in the comment section. So it's Sunday, March 12th, 2023. I should really be asleep right now, but after ending my last extended video, which was mostly just me wandering around, driving around, because I had no place better to be and nothing better to do. I ended up at you know what? I think I'm gonna go this way. Where am I going? I don't know. It's 10:53 a.m. by the way. Did I say the time? I can't recall if I did. Yeah, 10:53 in the morning. Oh, and that Lime is still where I parked it. There on 46th Street. Padlocked to the no parking sign. Meanwhile, here in front of the park, there's lots and lots of shopping carts, stolen shopping carts, parked by homeless people. It just amazes me the city is doing nothing about that. Like, you think the park rangers would do something about that? Or, I don't know, maybe the stores that own the shopping carts? Something. Still seems absolutely crazy to me. There's another Lime scooter. Not locked in. None of the other Limes I see is anybody bothering to use the cable lock. But when I ended my ride on that Lime on Friday, it threatened me with a, I think, $25 fine if I didn't lock it to a bike rack. Bike rack along the sidewalk. Like, where the hell is there a bike rack along a sidewalk? But I at least, found something doable to lock it to. I kind of wanted to leave it on the other side of the alley, kind of in the dirt there by the power pole. I used to regularly leave limes there all the time. Like, whenever I would ride a Lime home, a lot of times that's where I'd leave it, and I'd walk from there just so it would be kind of visible to anybody else who might potentially want to ride it. And sometimes I'd bring them back with me in my car when I was juicing from Scottsdale. Just bring one and stick it there just to see how long it would be till somebody would rent it, and then kind of track it. Use the Lime app to kind of track that particular Limes, because you can look at them by number. If you click on it, you can see what the number is, and I would kind of track its motion through this side of town, and often I would find myself picking that one up when it was time to recharge it, because it would kind of stay in this side of town. Now, of course, that time there wasn't any kind of geofencing with Lime. They just simply didn't service over here, but there was no geofencing stopping them from being over here. Just the ones that were here were ones that drifted over from Scottsdale. But, yeah, there's geofencing now. I'm not sure if I mentioned that when I was talking about riding Lime. I don't know, I'm talking about all kinds of shit yesterday. Just all kinds of time spent driving around talking to myself yesterday. Am I going to run the red light? Nah, I think I made it. Barely. But yeah, so I did mention, I don't mention in the Lime app currently, that there's some areas that are designated in red as places you can't go, and then there is kind of a coverage area that's outlined in green, but it doesn't indicate, like, when you cross that green in all of the areas as someplace you can't go. It's not highlighted in red. Whereas on some areas it is. Anyway, crossing 46th Street, not highlighted in red. I assumed I would have no problem riding along Oak Street right to in front of my apartment. And as soon as I crossed, I was going down Oak, and as soon as I crossed 46th Street, just suddenly no acceleration. I got a push-through message from the Lime app on my phone telling me, and of course I'm filming on my iPhone right now, so I can't, that push-through message, I left it in my push-through messages, but it's on my iPhone, so I can't look at it. But yeah, push-through message that said, which is silly, the push-through message thing, because of course, like, how about put it on the dashboard display of the scooter? Because I'm not looking at my phone while I'm riding a scooter. I didn't like read the message till I got home and saw it. It's like, oh, it sent me a message to my phone. Like, I'd be looking at my phone while I'm riding a scooter. But it said to that something about I'd gone into a no-ride, that I'd entered a no-ride area, and to push it back into the riding area, because it took the power away, I couldn't accelerate with it, push it back into the riding area to resume my ride or end my ride, one or the other. Which I think is pretty shitty. Like, it used to be, you know, there was nothing in the app to give me a warning that when I crossed 46th Street, I would have to stop riding. So, yeah, I in the 5-star rating it asked for, I only gave the ride 3 stars, but I didn't get to use the empty space where I can explain why I gave it the ride only 3 stars, because at that moment when I got to that in the app, my iPhone died, the battery died on it. That was Saturday, midday. Woman bending into her trunk in the car on the right looked pretty damn hot. Had a t-shirt on, but she had it up above her midriff, kind of tied in a knot. I admit, there's just nothing I find sexier on a woman than a nice, firm, smooth, flat midriff. I mean, I'd take that over, even over tits and ass. Just saying. Anyway, that's all it takes, just to look over and see an attractive woman, and my brain is just, train of thought is just gone. Speaking of which, I put sort of like a thing on a subreddit on Reddit, kind of looking for an FWB, and I did get a couple responses to it, which surprises me. I didn't expect to get any responses at all. One of them from a young gal, looks pretty hot, the picture she sent me, but she just kind of sent me body pictures and sent me face pictures. But a young gal, but in Brazil. Like, why are you responding from Brazil? I said I'm in Phoenix. But, I guess somebody responding in Brazil hopes that I'm, in the income bracket that can afford to fly back and forth from Phoenix to Brazil. Yeah, that's not me. Sorry, dear. Wow, that person did not come to a stop, not even close, while turning right on red. The other one is in East Texas, near Dallas. And while that's not exactly close, that's a very doable day trip. That's a very doable day trip. I could easily, well, maybe not day trip, more like a 2-day trip, but very doable road trip. Better way to phrase that. Like, I could easily, I mean, now that my VET, now that they don't seem to be dishing out as much overtime, certainly I got a big window of time between when I get off on Thursday morning and when I have to be back to work on Sunday night to make a road trip to Dallas, Fort Worth for a hot redhead in her mid-30s. I could make that happen. Anyway, I'm going inside Ace I don't need to get much. I'm looking for some like double-sided like foam tape stuff. and it's going to seem like a silly thing for me to want to repair with it, but the insole in my left safety shoe just constantly hikes up my foot while I'm working, and that shit drives me nuts. And I should really get another pair of shoes. I'm pretty sure I'm due another pair of shoes through Zappos, and I'm thinking I have a credit for one and stuff, but that's a hassle, and I want to fix my shoe now. And these shoes are still in okay condition, so it's just a minor annoyance that creeps up. So I don't know. I like fixing things. I'm gonna try and see if I can fix that. And then I also, and I'm sure I have a suitable tool at home, but right now my tools at home are not very organized, and I really want a 1/2-inch wrench. I've been fixing the TDR straps from work. I'm not doing a major repair or anything, but that's the thing I've been doing, like the TDR load securement straps. It's been kind of a side project of mine for, I don't know, I want to say 2, maybe 3 weeks now, when it gets really slow in the warehouse and I just don't have anything else I need to be working on, rather than just standing around and wasting time, which is what a lot of people at my warehouse like to do. I don't have any work, I'm just standing here. Try to find little side work things that need done, and one of the ones that I like to do is rolling up, checking for, making sure that everything's functional on old TDR load securement come along straps, and pairing them together and rolling them up neatly. It kind of started maybe about 3 weeks ago when I noticed that somebody had gone to non-inventory and taken a case of brand new ones out, and there were boxes of new ones on the Southside docks, and I'm like, why are we wasting money and we're supposed to be Amazon talks such a strong game about being a sustainable company, but yet we've got perfectly good used load straps. Why are we opening new ones? This makes no sense. Like, even if you didn't have one like near your dock, could you not be bothered to go to some place where there is one and grab one? Like, you made the trip all the way to non-inventory to get a case of these. So that kind of upset me, and not like I care about the money. I look at I look at it from an ecological standpoint of reduce, reuse, recycle. Reuse being the main thing. Like, if you've got things that you can reuse, why would you be using new ones? On that note, I'm going to get something new that I could be reusing after this stop at Ace, but I'll explain that momentarily. But yeah, what I've been doing and of course here I'm buying another tool when I could use ones I already have, but the pliers I already have are just not getting it done. I fixed a couple with it, but it's a real struggle to make the pliers work, and I can't seem to find a crescent wrench or a ratchet that fits my 1/2-inch socket, or a pair of vice grips. And I do have a 1/2-inch wrench, and basically I need 2 1/2-inch wrenches to undo the bolt. So basically what I've been bringing home, and it's a simple repair, is I've got some of the ratchets. It's a whole lot of woman. I've got some of the ratchets that have been physically destroyed. Like, I'm not sure how they get destroyed in transit. And maybe run over by forklifts. Maybe they just get crushed against the back of the truck and it bends them. It's really hard to say, but the ratchets are bent or they're damaged. Probably not reusable. They're steel, so they're definitely recyclable. Granted, there's not much money in recycling steel, but it's still something that can be taken and put in a bucket and eventually recycled at the place where I recycle my plastic and my aluminum. But the other thing I have is I'm finding a bunch where the ratchet's perfectly fine, but somebody has cut the clip part of the strap that locks into the side of the truck. They cut that strap, and I can only speculate as to why they've cut the strap. Some people, maybe there was a knot in it, or maybe it was difficult to, sometimes they don't always unlock easily. It takes a little effort, and some people that work in warehouses just aren't about putting forth any effort. It's just easier to cut and destroy the thing because, hey, they didn't pay for it. So anyway, I'm trying to pair off ones that are busted ratchets with good straps and ones that are good ratchets with bad straps, and move the good straps to the good ratchets, and then bring them back to work and pair them off with with the other half, which is the long, which is a strap with just the locking mechanism, with just the lock that locks it into the side of the truck. I know, of all the stupid things I could waste my time on, it's pretty low on the list, but it's something I actually enjoy doing. So I'm going inside so I can get a 1/2-inch wrench so I can be more functional with doing it, and I shall be right back. Wow, my camera's shimmying like crazy. I should totally be using this new Obama phone, but last night driving around shooting video, I ran myself out of space, and I forgot how difficult it can be when you shoot so much video that you run yourself out of space on an Android to use the Android. iPhones don't really let you do that, but Androids will let you just like shoot video till you're completely out of space, and then the phone is like semi-dysfunctional because you've run out of space because it needs the space to cache. Nice. Because it needs the space to cache temporary files and whatnot, and it doesn't have the space. And then when you try to use cloud storage programs, right now I'm not using the Microsoft one because I can't remember my damn login. So I'm just using one of my Google Drives that has some space, and it seems to be sort of working, but it's like being super tedious because I initially couldn't use, like I would generally be uploading them in sequential order, but yeah, I don't have enough space for it to cache, like whatever caching it does to use the app to upload to the cloud. I don't have enough space for that. So I've been going in file size order, starting with the smallest, and by doing those and deleting them and rebooting and making sure that freeing up a little bit of space, I'm getting to where I can do progressively bigger ones, but I made a whole lot of work for myself by doing that. Anyway, fun times. I'm sorting it out though. I'm determined. And welcome back, YouTube. I think I just got like a warning from my phone telling me that it's too warm. Yeah, it's only like 65 degrees outside. It's really comfortable outside, but it is hot in the car. And the sun shining on my phone is definitely making it, while I'm shooting video like this, it's definitely making it warmer than it should be. I would imagine the constant twitching of the camera isn't helping the situation either. It's probably contributing to my battery dying quicker than it should as well, since there's a little servo that's just non-stop going up in that thing. It's alright, hopefully I will have that resolved and can go to doing most of my filming on the new Obama phone by tonight. I'm hoping to resolve that before I go to sleep. Because I definitely am going to sleep before I go to work tonight. As far as sleeping, and what I did when I went home after the last video, I started working on music and was also kind of simultaneously working on compiling, editing, and uploading old vlogs. I'm pretty much exactly a week behind on them right now. And part of me really wants a biggie bag from Wendy's, but I noticed the $5 biggie bag now costs $6, and yeah, I should pass on that. Part of me just wants to get like a Sip and Save drink over at Circle K, but I know this is crazy to me how it just goes from 2 lanes to 1 super wide lane, and then like a block and a half later right here it splits back up into 2 lanes. Like, how did Phoenix not, like, somebody needs to notice that's a flaw and just widen it just a tiny bit. To be honest, I think it's actually already wide enough. They can just paint the additional lane. I don't know, maybe widen it a little bit. Got a shopping cart on the right. It's just crazy how the homeless people these days just have these shopping carts with a whole bunch of crap in them, just like everywhere. I don't even see the person that goes with that cart. Just a cart full of crap there on the freeway easement. Damn, it is hot in this car. I really don't like driving with the windows down, but and it always makes my vlog sound terrible, but it is freaking hot. All right, there's a homeless guy flying a sign on the median. He might go with the shopping cart. might be his shopping cart. Not actually his shopping cart, but you know, the shopping cart that he stole that's full of his shit. So definitely spent more on that stupid wrench than I should have. Kind of having second thoughts about going there and getting it, and thinking that maybe I should have just gone to oh my god, I forget the name of the tool, the budget tool place over there on 32nd Street. I'm absolutely forgetting the name of the tool place. Harbor Freight Tools. Thinking I should have just gone to Harbor Freight Tools and missed the damn light. Gone to Harbor Freight Tools and makes me sad looking on the right and seeing that Enterprise truck run a lot. That's where the Kon-Tiki Hotel used to be, and that was such an awesome landmark. Just really, really unique, like Polynesian style architecture, and it had this amazing sign, which the sign still exists. The sign got bought by some other business called Kon-Tiki, and it's down in Tucson. And I think if you do a Google search of Kon-Tiki sign, you should be able to find it in Google image search, because it's a pretty freaking epic sign. So I'm glad the sign got preserved. But yeah, the whole Kon-Tiki Hotel, you can maybe find pictures of that in Google Images as well, but the Kon-Tiki Hotel was such a great landmark here on 24th Street in Van Buren. And it went back to a time where 24th Street in Van Buren wasn't such a terribly awful part of town, back when these used to be nice motels along US 60, because Van Buren through here used to be US 60. And the Kon-Tiki was something that definitely really stood out. I want to say it was built probably mid-1960s, maybe early 1960s. But the reason the Kon-Tiki sticks so much in my mind is when I started driving for Yellow Cab in 1992, and then like the first year that I drove for Yellow Cab, it was one of our cab stands that they called out on the radio dispatch. And it was like when I first got in, I'm trying to wrap my head around how the cab dispatching works, because it was pretty overwhelming, for my first couple days. And so I'm listening to what gets called out to get an idea of like where are busy areas to try to work, where I'm going to get calls. And because they don't send you the calls, you need to kind of figure out where they are and then bid on them. At least that's how it worked back then. And one thing that I heard constantly on the dispatch was cab at the Kon-Tiki, cab at the Kon-Tiki, cab at the county hospital, cab at the Kon-Tiki. Kon-Tiki first was very often like a first stand, and very often a second stand. And it wasn't a stand that I worked very often, but every now and then, just for shits and grins, I'd come down, and we actually had a physical cab stand there, where there was a sign that said Yellow Cab parking only, right in front of the hotel lobby. And if I was in this area and I rolled by and I happened to notice there was nobody sitting there, I'd roll up there. And usually I'd get a call, radio call, before anybody would actually wander out of the Kon-Tiki wanting a cab. In fact, I don't recall ever getting somebody rolling out of the Kon-Tiki wanting a cab. I'm trying really hard to think of if that ever happened, and I don't. I do remember sitting on that stand, but just always getting a dispatch call before anybody came up and asked for a cab there. But it was a fun place to sit, and I absolutely loved the architecture of that place. So every time I walk by that corner, I just see that bland-ass Enterprise truck rental lot. I don't know, it just makes me sad how little Phoenix values history and landmarks. What is that? Matthew Blades, Mix 96 time. Wow, it looks like somebody repurposed a promotional Mix 96.9 what do you call it? Promotional, where they set up on location and they put the little tent overhead. It's like somebody has repurposed, send it into their little homeless person's shelter there on the left. That's a little different, original. I'll give them some credit for that. Yeah, I definitely got to get something to drink. I'm heading over to my storage to maybe crush some cans. Definitely get rid of the recycling that's in my car. I got 2 big bags of completely uncrushed stuff from Priscilla. One in the trunk, one in the back of the truck. And I got a full box from home. Feels so hot in the car, but it's fairly cool outside. So I might, as long as I'm not getting too nasty and sweaty, I might I don't know, want to crush a few. Maybe finish up a box of crushed cans over there. But I definitely need. I'm thirsty as it is, so I definitely need a. Oh wow! There's a street vendor specializing in safety vests. Yeah, I don't need to. Those are really cool. I don't need to pay for one though. I get so many free ones from Amazon. No sense in me spending money on something like that. Yeah, I'm still enjoying using the one that says Ego Operator. In fact, I'm enjoying Ego Operator so much that I changed my Flare, my user Flare in the Amazon FC subreddit to Ego Operator. But that one is a little on the dirty side. But I am kind of intrigued. I think I might want to walk over there and look at what they got. Intrigued by the woman whose car is overheating too. Anyway, I'm going inside to get myself something to drink. I'm already thirsty, and I definitely don't need to be doing any kind of physical work outside crushing cans without a beverage. And I'm back. It's wasn't in Circle K all that long. It's 11:30, and the warning thing that was popping up on my phone, I clicked to see what it said. It said that flash is disabled because the phone needs to cool down. So at least I can still shoot video. That's worth something. And the woman that was in the car to my right as I was pulling up, the car is still there. I don't see any sign of her. Really, really cute. And black woman in a tight dress with a really nice body. And when she looked over at me, she just gave me this look of just angry. Which I could feel like her being angry because the car smells big time overheated, and she was pouring either water or antifreeze in it. Oh, there she is. She got someone coming to help her. Someone that could be the best thing to happen to me in a long time, but her car definitely overheating. It smells bad, and it's looking kind of rough too. Not that mine isn't, but she sure is looking good in that blue dress. There's a spin scooter parked over here in the parking lot to my right. And yeah, cable lock not attached to anything. I hardly ever see those cable locks attached to anything. Wow, another Saturn Ion to my left. It's very rare I see another Saturn Ion. That one's really clean too. It's nice, silver. I really do want to someday make this car look nice again. It looked pretty nice when I got it. Right now, getting the mechanical issues taken care of definitely takes precedence over anything. It takes precedence over making it look nicer. Definitely got to get it through emissions and take care of whatever this issue is that makes it stall out so often. Hey, but at least I'm not overheating in front of Circle K. Wow, she just went in and bought a gallon of bottled water. Girl, you need to be buying like coolant, not bottled water. That's drinking water. Oh, I was gonna swing by the safety vest spot, and I totally didn't. I totally forgot about it. I was gonna walk by that little safety vest vendor there. I see a lot of street vendors, but that's the first time I've ever seen a street vendor like selling safety vests and like reflective ANSI safety work clothing. Since I have to wear something like that at work these days, I find that very interesting. Which reminds me, vendors and people giving stuff away. When I came out of Walmart Friday, I totally forgot to walk back to that guy to get my $20 tablet. Whoops. I really think I'd have qualified for it because I still do have Medicare through Access, and that was one of the things he listed as a qualification for it. And I can't help but think that while I got a new phone from Assurance Wireless, that they probably, while they were at it, verified my eligibility. But oh damn, that woman is thick. I don't know if I got her on video. Chick kind of scantily dressed, walking on the left side. All right, I got a Waymo car coming up on my left. I'm gonna slow down, let it pass me, and see if there's a driver in it. Yep, there's a person in the driver's seat of that one. They usually have people in them. That one I saw last night, the first one I ever saw, where I looked over and it was just a completely empty vehicle. Pretty wild stuff. I'm just about to my storage here. There it is. I don't think I was going to explain what all I did after I got home from doing that drive across town to Amazon to resolve my my issue with my hours. I haven't checked my A to Z to see if it got corrected correctly, but I pretty much trust the gal that did it from HR. I know I've dealt with her before. I don't know her name, but I feel like I've definitely. Like, she's helped me with stuff before and got it right. And she obviously understood what the issue was and kind of explained to me how to not do that again. I do not like crushing cans this time of day because there's nowhere for me to stand in the shade. So anyway, yeah, when I got home, worked on music. Didn't get much done. I did have a karaoke track for Pyramid Song by Radiohead. I don't know who's ever going to sing that, but I absolutely love the album. I think it's off Amnesiac. The two albums they did right at the beginning of the 2000s, I love both of those albums. And it's off of, I think it's off Amnesiac. Either that or the album like right before it or after it. Anyway, it's one of those songs I really love at that album. It's nothing I would ever think to sing for karaoke, but I don't know, it just recently came up as something that was a new release on karaoke version, and I thought it'd be something interesting to add to the library. So added that one. And then went to working on one for wow, I already drank all of that stuff. I guess I really was thirsty. Damn. I drank most of my 32-ounce drink. Damn. Yeah, I was going to I absolutely forgot where the button was to open my trunk. I usually do it with the button on the key fob. And then I'm still working on Ariana Grande stuff. I'm not going to add any more stuff because the date has already passed, and it would make my new additions list look wonky if I go forward with any more. But I'm sitting on so much Ariana Grande stuff, so I wanted to finish up some videos I was working on and get them filed and put away because I finally added my karaoke, like about the file years ago, but I finally added the karaoke for Thank You Next into my Songbook DB database. I don't think I put the files away, though. I definitely need to get that done. Anyway, while I was at it, I noticed that I had converted the video for 34 plus 35. That's a fun song. And so I wanted to preview it, make sure it was good, check the levels were good, and then what I realized that why I didn't put it away and why I needed to go back and still work on it was that it had a long, like after the end of the song, it had kind of an extended credit sequence after it that included some behind the scenes footage of shooting the video, which normally I tend to edit that stuff off and I don't keep it in my organized music video library, but this is actually particularly well done, and it's some pretty funny behind-the-scenes material. So it is something I kind of want to keep in my digital music library. Although it's not something I want to play when I'm doing my show. When I'm DJing, doing, bar gigs and stuff, parties. So, yeah, I made an edited one. Left it converting. I haven't previewed it yet. It's done. It's just ready for me to watch it and put it away. And I kind of want to do a little research on this one because the director that it shows, the guy it shows directing the video, kind of trying to prompt people on how to act to get the shots he's trying to catch. I think he's the guy. I could be wrong, and that's why I want to look it up. But I think he's the guy that played El Cañado, the brother-in-law character, who's kind of a junkie and a sex addict, from the show The League, which is like one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It really looks like him, and I had no idea the guy's like into directing music videos. So I don't know. I just want to look it up and find out if it's actually him or if it was just somebody who looks a lot like him. But yeah, still working on that, and but yeah, I was also kind of working on my videos, and then I had this one which I just posted like within a couple hours ago or so, where I'm rolling around with I was debating as to whether I was going to post this one. I decided to go ahead and post it, but where I'm rolling around with Mason after we went to the Oz bar, and we're just having such a bizarre and interesting conversation, and I'm just driving through really bad neighborhoods. And I know I already talked about that drive in like another vlog, my one from like a week ago, which will be the next one that I post. Anyway, I wanted to listen to the whole thing to decide, did he say anything or did I say anything that maybe I don't want to put on YouTube? And not that there's much limits to what I'll put on YouTube these days, but that was just what I needed. I just dozed off and ended up sleeping for about 3 hours on my bed, fully clothed. So of course now my sleep schedule, when I had a chance of getting it back in kind of sync with my work schedule, is whack. So I can't believe I'm out of drink already. Damn. Yeah, I'm not really feeling like crushing cans. I think I'm just going to empty everything and put it in the storage, and then head to Walmart to get the other thing I'm on a mission to get. And welcome back, YouTube. I actually ended up doing quite a bit of crushing and sorting of recycling. Not like a lot, but a respectable amount. So it's 12:14 p.m. Still Sunday, March 12th, 2023. God, this year is just whipping right by me. And it's warm out today. Like, it's not hot, but the crushing the cans in the direct sunlight, it's the sunlight here that's kind of a killer. Yeah, this is definitely a time of day I don't like doing it, just because it's there's no shade to be had. But also I don't like crushing cans like by my large storage unit as much as I do by my two older little ones over like in the end where I used to have 4. I never really noticed until I went to start stomping cans there. God, it is hot in the car. My scalp is sweating. I never noticed just how much of an incline that is on the asphalt there in front of that unit. But it's enough that it's like I can stand the cans up straight while I crush them, but just the tiniest bit of a breeze, it knocks them over, and then they go rolling away, and it's really fucking annoying. So yeah, anyway, I managed to fill up excuse me, managed to completely fill up a box of crushed cans that was, I don't know, it was maybe about 2/3 full already. Ooh, there's another Lime scooter right there by the sign for the Hilton Garden Inn. I would imagine the Hilton Garden Inn doesn't appreciate that. It's just sitting there on their, like in their landscaping, leaning against the sign. Yeah, I definitely get where people are coming from that dislike rental scooters that say, you know, quote, people just leave them everywhere like trash, because they do. You know, if everybody would park those things respectfully and nobody would knock them down just to be assholes, it would make the rental scooter thing a lot nicer, that's for sure. I should have taken that green left arrow, dang it. I was thinking that I was going to go to, I was thinking my next stop was going home, but I was thinking about stopping at 7-Eleven to get a good gulp on the way, since that drink I got at the Circle K where the woman was looking so good in the blue dress with the overheated car was. This is empty, and I'm still thirsty. And pretty much all I have to drink at home is alcoholic beverages. I think all I have to drink at home is alcoholic beverages and bottled water. I don't know. I might have one can of Coke and one can of Mountain Dew, which I definitely want to save those to bring with me to work. Not trying to take in any more caffeine right now. Definitely need to get some sleep before I go to work. Though I'm not particularly tired right now. But yeah, I almost forgot. I still needed to swing by somewhere. What I need, as I mentioned earlier, I need to buy something that I know I already have, and I like to reuse all things that I already have, but I've looked around and I have absolutely no clue where any of the ones I already have are, but I need an adapter for plugging a micro SD card into a USB port. And I know I've got several of those, but damned if I could say where any of them are whatsoever. And I really need to get the data off the SD card on Obama phone number 3. I really need to get that moved over to my computer and, you know, to my PC and my Windows PC. The one I do karaoke DJing with. It's the only one I got up and functional right now. Need to get all the data that's off that just moved over there, so it can be fresh, empty space, and get it moved into the new Obama phone, which is already struggling for space to even function. And yeah, that's a project that can't wait until I figure out where the hell my SD card to USB adapters went. I looked in a few places I thought where they might be. It's just something I haven't had any use for in ages, and I know I have numerous of them, but anyway, I can't imagine they're too expensive at Target. possibly cheaper at Walmart, but the thought of being in the Thomas Walmart at noon on a Sunday is very unappealing. So, in fact, I really miss Walmarts being open 24 hours a day, so I can go in them in the middle of the night when they're nearly empty. That used to be my favorite time to shop at Walmart, between like 3 and 5 a.m. But none of them are open at that time anymore. At least none of them that I know of in the Phoenix area. But yeah, there was a time they all used to be. Yeah, so many places reduced their hours for COVID, and then never really restored their hours afterwards. It's like, oh, we can run with less people and still make just as much money by providing less customer service. So yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Target. I expect Target to have that. Really? Arrgh. Part of me wants to go over to Costco and get some like a case of green tea and a case of Coca-Cola, but not so fond of going to Costco on Sunday afternoons either. It's just usually this time of day on a Sunday, it's just hectically busy, and places that are that crowded tend to make me very, very uneasy. So you'll pass on that. Target's probably going to be busy too, but it shouldn't be as bad. I'm hoping, anyway. Really looking forward to going to work tonight, but I'm not. Kind of frustrated that I've let my sleep schedule get so out of sync with my work schedule. Wow, we got a little homeless encampment going on the right there, next to where the temporary fencing is for the new Costco gas station. And a couple people squatting on the ground, and a couple of stolen shopping carts full of stuff. There's another stolen shopping cart full of crap. Probably goes with that guy that's flying the panhandling sign right there. You know, you would think that this strip mall, the Arcadia Crossing strip mall, would have some of their own security people that would be making an effort to get those people that are loitering on their landscaping and setting up little homeless encampments on their landscaping, and panhandling on their landscaping. You think they'd have some security that would be wanting to make an effort to get rid of it, but I guess they figure as long as they're getting their rent from their corporate tenants like Burlington and Kroger and Target, that they don't really need to do anything else. And none of the businesses are really doing anything to get rid of all the riffraff that's loitering on the fringes of this complex. But it's really easy to ignore that, you know, when you drive on 44th Street and, you know, everybody kind of parks in the parking lot like I am here and walks in. So, I don't know. I see it. It bothers me. And I'm back. I definitely wasted more time on Target than I probably should have. Because it's 12:48 now. I should really have been in bed quite some time ago, but what are we doing doing good to get much of any of a nap before I gotta go to work? Definitely gotta be up before 6. So I got the device that I needed for reading micro SD cards. I only saw one thing on the shelf, one option. I kind of expected it to be more than one option, and there were spots where it looked like there might have been some other options, but oh wow, woman coming out to Target was really fine. Oh man, it's distracting. Speaking of really fine, a woman from Dallas just sent me a ton of pictures. I feel like I gotta make that happen. So yeah, that's the doodad I got, made by Vivitar. Well, at least it's branded. Branded is Vivitar. Probably made by the lowest bidder in China, because that's how things are these days. But yeah, I was kind of feeling a little bit bad about wasting money on something that I already know I own multiple of, and I just can't figure out where the hell I have mine. But this has actually got some features that are not on the ones that I have. In fact, it's got features that didn't exist at the time I purchased the ones that I already had. So it feels like a little bit less of a waste of money when I'm getting stuff that newer features that I didn't already have, and it was $10, so not breaking the bank. But yeah, it looks like a flash drive, but it actually has caps on each end, and one end is your standard USB, like all the other ones I have, where I just plug it into a USB port on a computer or whatever. It's got a SD slot on one side and a micro SD slot on the other, so it's kind of nice. I can use micro SD without having to use an adapter SD card, which I have other ones that had that feature, but it's definitely a nice feature to have. But what this has that none of my others have there's actually somebody crossing the street there. That's unusual. And that Lime scooter is still where I parked it. So both ends pop off, not just the one where the USB port is. And on the other side, there's a USB-C plug. So it doubles as an OTG, or on the go. On the go, I think that's what the OTG stands for, adapter, which I don't know if that works with iPhones, but should work with my Androids, to where I can take an SD card. Oh, look at that card. That is glorious. I have no idea what that was, but that was awesome. Anyway, it's where I can take an SD or micro SD card and plug it into one of my newer Android smartphones, and should be able to move files back and forth to it. So that's a nice feature, to be able to do that without having to mount the card on the inside. So anyway, I gotta go home. I'm gonna try and at least get the project done with the phones, swapping the micro SD card from Obama Phone 3 with its smash screen to Obama Phone 4, so that unit's a little more functional. Wow, my iPhone camera isn't twitching for once. That's interesting. Yeah, get it moved over, and yeah, I definitely want to get that whole project done. So, try to get that done before I take a nap. But anyway, thanks for coming with me on the random journey in errands on my Sunday afternoon. Such an exciting life I lead. But hey, at least it's something I could be doing Could be doing so much worse, especially evidenced by all the homeless encampments that I've had. So, times like this, I gotta think like the William Devon song and just be thankful for what I've got. Friday night, somebody actually sang that over at somebody other than me actually sang that over at karaoke over at Wander Inn. Definitely made my night, although I was kind of occupied in whatever else I was doing at the time. I was actually talking to Corey at the time, so I didn't wander over to check out who it was singing that song, but it didn't escape me. It's one of those songs that I absolutely love that most people are not familiar with, so it was kind of neat to hear somebody else singing it. And what I recall, I wasn't intensely focused on it, but what I recall, they did a pretty good job of singing it. So, but yeah, solid life advice in that song. Even though you may not drive a big Cadillac, you still be thankful for what you got, for sure.